All right, the next one says, if the flood happened in Genesis, how is there saltwater oceans and freshwater lakes?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to make this short. One of the things that you have with water, first off, is that you have what are called thermoclines. And you, like literally, where you have a river coming into an ocean, you can have a layer of fresh water over the top of a layer of salt water. And they don't mix, not until later. And so you can literally have two layers. You can have the salinity in the ocean is different depending on the depth. And again, you have different layers in the ocean of these things. And you would have that during the flood. That's for all of you. I'm actually answering a different question at this point. Okay, so first off, most of the salt in the water in the oceans came from after the flood. So when the water is running off the land, that's where you get the mineral deposits into the ocean. And so during the flood, you're going to have a major increase in the salt content in the oceans in the first place. So the oceans probably weren't anywhere near as salty as they are now. Okay, so that's the first point that I want to make. And so after the flood, when the water's flooding, the ocean's going to get more salty. When the land rises up out of the water, you have water again running off the land, and it's going to get even more salty. As the water is rising and running off the land, you're going to have pockets on the land that have salty water in them. And so when you're talking about, for example, in Utah, the Great Salt Lake there, you're going to have those kinds of pockets. That used to be a very large area inland that was covered with water. And what's happened is that's gotten all concentrated because the lake was there that has gotten smaller. And then for the rest of the pockets of water that you have that are on the land, it's going to have some salt content in it immediately after the flood, but then it rains and the salt gets washed out. And over time, you're going to have nothing but freshwater lakes. And it's because it hasn't been exposed to the ocean water. And so right at first, you're going to have some kind of salt content with the water that's still on the land after the land rises, but over a period of time, and we're thousands of years past the flood, over a period of time, you're going to have fresh water. So,
All right, I zoned out for that first part. This may be a dumb question, but why are the oceans salty? Why did it have a salt content in the oceans? Is it from the water that a reaction from the surface of the earth type of thing that adds the salt?
Yeah, any time that you have water running through minerals, water running through earth, you're having minerals that are being picked up by the water, and it's going to go down into the oceans.
And so is the fresh water that we have only stay fresh because it's moving and it's not like sitting with those elements?
Yeah, it's constantly moving. And so in California, you have what's called the Salton Sea. And the Salton Sea came about because of basically a flood from the Colorado River that went down to that went base in the area down in the desert. And over time, that the Salton Sea's gotten smaller. It's got down into this basin and got salty, and then over time it's been evaporating, and it gets more salty as that happens. You get the same thing with the Dead Sea.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no place for it to go out, and so all the minerals stay there. Yeah.
All right, good question.